Shalom, shalom. Els, kings, queens, Miss Parker. Hey, just wanted to tap in with y'all real quick because it's something that has been on my spirit lately. Because I see so many people falling into this, and I just want to provide help in the area that I was given help in to help find myself, right? So I want to talk today, and it's not gonna be a long video, but I want to talk today about dreams, visions, and goals, right? Dreams, visions, and goals. And we're going to probably spend more time dealing with goals and vision than the dream aspect. Because the dream aspect is, is connected to your higher self, who you are in that spiritual realm, right? And it has a lot to do with knowledge of self, right? And I'm gonna do a separate video on knowledge of self at a certain point, but right now I kind of really just want to mainly deal with the dreams. I mainly want to deal with the vision and goals. So what is vision? Vision is the ability to see not just yourself, but your environment in a different light, in a higher light, right? But oftentimes, your vision has to be predicated on your strength, right? Your gifts, your talents, your abilities. What Yah, source powers, the Most High Elohim, placed within you to thrive. And that's ultimately how it will benefit and better everybody else around you. So again, vision is important before setting and making goals, and even before setting and making the goals, before having a vision, you have to understand what your strengths are. So again, that whole process does require knowledge of self. And like I said, I'm gonna do a separate video on what knowledge of self is and go like deep into it. But for now, what you need to know about knowledge of self is it's experiencing yourself. Knowledge, yada, right? An intimate experience, right? And then self, right? Which ultimately is going to take you back to the Hebrew idea of nefesh, right? Soul, which really is an extension of, or it's driven by your spirit man, right? Your inner man, right? But the two are different entities, meaning your soul and your spirit are two totally different things. And a lot of times people try to combine them, two totally different things. And saying all this to say, this is ultimate, spending time in that place of stillness with yourself, right? In the Ruach, in meditation, right? Not being influenced by outside forces, peoples, and opinions, right? YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, you feel me? TV, BET, music, movies, Netflix, Hulu, all this stuff, right? These are all outside influences that you shouldn't be dabbling in when you are spending time learning about yourself, right? Because ultimately, once you get to that place of true self-awareness or knowledge of self, your vision will automatically become clear, right? You'll be able to tie the strengths and the natural talents and abilities that you were given by Yah in order to see yourself operating in those to help and benefit other people, right? This is what a true vision is. A true vision isn't necessarily supposed to just help you. True vision is for the betterment and the optimization of everybody else around you, everybody else that you interact with, everybody else that you encounter, right? So, and side note, if a man hasn't reached this point, he don't need a wife. Just be real, right? To my single daughters out here, listen up. If a man don't have vision, right? He doesn't even have an idea of knowledge of self, what his strengths and his abilities are. He's not operating in that. He's not ready for a wife, because the wife, remember, she's the helpmeet. She's supposed to help him accomplish that vision, right? This is why Yah created Chua, to help him name the animals and to tame the garden. Hallelujah. I'm speaking to somebody today. So saying all this to say, That's where true vision is birthed, out of a place where somebody has elevated from that standpoint of actually obtaining knowledge of self, right? So, knowledge of self, goals, knowledge of self, vision, then you can incorporate the goals, right? So I want to say this too. Oftentimes when we're excited about something and we might see somebody else that has reached this place of knowledge of self, right? Yahuwah has given them a vision on certain things and you see them executing this. You see them carrying this out, right? Every time you see them, they thriving and they excited about, the next part of their vision that they're actualizing, right? Oftentimes people will see that and they'll take that inspiration and they'll assume, just based off that inspiration, that this is what they're supposed to do. See, this is why you got so many people doing music and the same type of music. This is why everybody sounds the same. Well, particularly in the hip hop industry, is because, again, they're piggybacking or they're playing off of somebody else's vision. This is the same way when it comes to all type of stuff, right? So ultimately, you're making a vision or you're setting goals based off somebody else's vision and somebody else's knowledge of self when you are a different entity, you are a different person. No, that's their vision. You have to obtain knowledge of self to have clarity on what your vision is based off the strengths, right? The abilities, right? The talents and the gifts that Yah has given you. And this is so important. Sometimes we really got to sit down and think about this. Like, this takes time. It's not like in one day. I mean, hallelujah. Supernaturally, sometimes, you might get it in one day, right? But I know for a lot of men that I consider to be successful in executing and actualizing their gifts, thriving in their purpose, in their vision, and actually achieving their goals, man, it took years, right? It took years for them to develop a structure and refine it, right? To get to a point to really understand themselves through failure, through mistakes, through successes, through advancement, right? So saying all this to say, we have to stop looking at other people's visions, goals, based on them being at a place of knowledge of self and equating it to us, because we all have to individually go through this process to get there. And we have to set goals that, I don't even want to use the word realistic, because oftentimes that word realistic is like, it makes it seem like whatever it is you're actually believing for is unachievable in this realm. And I don't even want to put that energy out there. So I'm going to say this. You have to set goals that are in line with the revelation you received through knowledge of self. You have to set goals that are in line with the vision you received after obtaining knowledge of self. That's where the true power is. So again, we have to get to this place of doing this light work, because I'm telling you, the light work is going to shine light on all these areas and remove the darkness that's preventing you from reaching those goals, from having actual clear vision, from actually being able to understand those dreams and those visions that you writing down and you paying attention to. Oftentimes we don't even understand these things. That's because we don't have true knowledge of self, right? We're operating at a vibration and a frequency that's preventing us from being able to see things heightened, right? See things in the Ruach realm beyond this physical flesh and blood, sweat, tears realm, right? So I just want to encourage you, spend time with yourself, spend time in nature, right? Like Maisha be saying, hug you a tree, get your feet in the grass, spend some time out in the sun, hallelujah. Get to know yourself. Spend some time in meditation, right? Take time to even go back and maybe even, and I know we talked about this in the word yesterday, but take time to go back and even talk to your family members, your parents about, how you were when you were a yellow dean, right? What was you into? Tap into yourself, because again, you got to remember this. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. So again, the dream, the vision, the goals, the knowledge of self is all already within you. It's up to you to tap in and unlock it with the keys of truth. Hallelujah. I pray that this helps somebody. I love you all. Shalom.